Hello friends, welcome to this edition of Bridging the Gap here at Bridge Insurance Group. I am thrilled to welcome my friend Rachel today, who has an enormous background of all kinds of things, including being a teacher, owning Bella Bronze Tanning, being a representative for ONEHOPE Wine, which gives 10% of their proceeds back to charity, and our big focus of our conversation today, which is Whispering Force. So I'm going to introduce Rachel, but I'm going to let her talk more than I'm going to talk because she has so much to share and so much about her passion here. So first, we'll start with, hello Rachel, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
We've been friends for some years, met through networking, but your life and your story has created so much powerful impact for so many people. So the first thing I'll start with is, I know you do the Bella Bronze Tanning, which I'll post the link below, but I want to start with ONEHOPE Wine. I saw that as one of your ventures about a year ago.
Yes.
So you can tell me a little bit about that and then the types of organizations that you support.
Yeah, absolutely. So ONEHOPE Wine it's a Napa Valley vineyard, and they started about 10 years ago, but just about 4 years ago they decided to put it out there to distributors, feeling like their impact needed to be bigger. They needed to have more people doing what they love all over the country, which was so smart. So I became a cause entrepreneur last April, and it was incredible because I lost my job over COVID that was my regular income. And you sit back and you're like, what am I gonna do, But this popped up because everyone was talking about nonprofits not being able to have their galas and their events and everything that they did. And I worked with so many nonprofits and knew so many people. I thought, wow, this is a really insane way to give back. It's incredible, Who doesn't love wine? I mean, wine brings people together.
And the bottles are beautiful.
The bottles are beautiful. It actually now has the vineyard sticker on it of what it looks like over in Napa Valley. It's gorgeous, and they're amazing. They're actually 90 to 96 points on the wine scales for people that come and do those kind of wine consort, like things like that. So it's amazing wine. So 10% gives back from the whole party, the event, the link, all of it, back to nonprofits. And I've been working with so many. I've worked with Sisters Place, I've worked with the Global Sisterhood, I've worked with the Lupus Foundation. Right now we're even doing the South Fayette Cheer Boosters. So it's anyone that has a 501(c) and anyone that really just needs the support. So it's been pretty incredible. So sometimes we have an online event like through Facebook, they can invite a bunch of people, and other times we've had in-person tastings, and then some people just want a link, and I make a specific link that goes right back to the site and says you are supporting us, and it has their nonprofit, but the link will go, any sales from there will go to them, and they can put it through.
I didn't know that. So that can be a continual generator.
It can.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
I did not realize that.
It's been incredible. So I started that in April, and then 2 months later I get a phone call from my mentor, and she was like, so you just hit Impact Director. And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about, because I jumped in full speed, but I jumped in just, let's get a nonprofit party, let's do a Facebook event. And all of a sudden, I was one of the biggest leaders in the company in the couple months that I joined. I was like, Impact Director is huge for them. So it was pretty incredible. So it continued forward. I lost one thing, but I took what I learned from that, and I started the new journey with ONEHOPE because Bella Bronze stopped and I lost my job as a marketing and advertising. And I'm like, okay, I'm a mom of two. How are we going to do this? So it was such a blessing in disguise.
You are the master of pivoting and of taking challenging situations and turning them around. So I want to thank you because of our relationship. I ended up in a national magazine, so thanks to you.
You're
that
welcome.
was our first initial go-to, and
It was.
that really gave me a lot of exposure. But you have taken really challenging situations and turned them around. So that brings us to today, what we're talking about today, which is Whispering Force. I have been to the class, but I want you to talk about how did this start and where are you going with it?
Okay, well, Whispering Force is a very passionate story. So last February, before the pandemic, before all the craziness, I was just at a store over where I live. I dropped my kids off at youth group. It was 6 o'clock at night, normal time for someone to go to go get some shopping done. But it was dark and it was snowing, but I never was aware of my surroundings because until something happens to you, you really don't even think about it. I never really held a taser or like anything that could protect me. Never did. So I went to the store and I had 3 different places to walk to, and they were kind of in a triangle of the store. But everywhere I went, something was happening. So the first spot I went into, there was a guy that just stopped and stared at me from the outside, of the aisle. And I remember thinking to myself, boy, he doesn't look like a shopper, it just looked weird. But I was like, no big deal, Then I went back to the pet aisle, which is in the very back of the store. And I was leaned down getting my dog some treats, and my hair's always covering this side, just always is. And I felt something in it, but I couldn't see anything, and I just went like this and moved my hair behind my ear, and him and another man are now standing on the outside aisle. And I was like, okay, that's not okay, So I was like, well, let's get out of the part where you're in the back of the store and no one can even see you. So I went to the front and I'm like, you're fine, get your last item and go home. So I still am okay. I'm not even, thinking to talk to anybody about it. So I went to the front, and now I'm in the middle of the aisle, and they both took turns walking on the outside and stopping and looking in at me. Well, now my heart kind of dropped. But at that week, there was a lot of things going on the news. There was recordings that were like human trafficking predators. They were putting babies crying outside of women's apartments, hoping the woman would come out. And it was all over
Chilling.
Pittsburgh. There was 9 chilling. And one of them was my friend up in Brookline. And I thought, all right, Rachel, you are not going to be a drama queen. Like, isn't it sad that you have to go there? Right.
Absolutely.
I was like, you're not going to be a drama queen. You're going to go home. Like, you are just kind of anxious because of some things you've heard. Human trafficking, all of a sudden, everyone's talking about it. And that chills me to my bones, being a mom of 2 little ones. So I did the self-checkout. I looked all around me. They're nowhere to be found. I'm like, okay, like they just went shopping. They were just being weird, creepy, flirty, whatever. I don't know. So I walked out and I got my keys out, and the only reason I did is because I'm always cold and it was snowing. So I had my keys out, and as I'm walking, I hear the footsteps, but then I hear, stop, don't go to your car, there's something on your tire. I've never been so scared in my life because I knew I was going to turn around and see them, right? So I looked back and I jumped, and the younger one was coming towards me very quickly, and the older one had his hands in his pocket, 10 feet behind him, something in his hand, like I don't even know. It was a quick glance, but it was the worst. It felt like 3 minutes, not 3 seconds. And I was shaking, and they say when you're terrified, sometimes you can't get any sound out.
Yes.
I never thought that was possible. I used to be like, how's that possible? You just scream, right? I couldn't scream.
You
Nothing came out. I froze. And I looked down at my shaking hand, and I saw the red, and all I could think is, I wasn't even thinking alarm. I just saw something different, because something changes in you when you're that scared,
You're aware.
Yeah, and I pressed the button, and it just started to, go off. The flashers, the horn. I didn't even look back. I could feel his breath on me at that point. And I didn't know if he was just gonna cover and throw me in my car, or if he was gonna run. I just knew if I looked back, that was taking a second away from me to jump in the car. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm either gonna be taken or I'm gonna be safe. And I jumped in my car, and I probably went 80 miles per on my way home. Thank God, God was with me, because I was speeding and I was terrified and I was crying. And I got to my house, and I can honestly tell you the next 3 days were, I even would put the dog out and the air felt evil. Like, it felt so off. Everything felt off and violated, right? I was lying to my kids. I was like, I have a headache. We can't go to basketball practice. I can't walk you to the bus today. I can't do this, I couldn't leave the house. And then I had a meeting for my advertising job 3 days later, and I said, you can't miss this meeting. Like, this is a big deal. Like, suck it up and go, So I did, and the whole way, I've never had panic attacks. The whole way in the car, I'm like literally breathing into a bag. So I got through the meeting, and when I got home, something changed in me. I was like, single mother, you are not going to let this take you down, So I put on this mom's page, who they all trust and know me through Bella Bronze Airbrush Tanning. Like, they're tagging me every time someone says, spray tanner in that South Hills. So I put on there, who would take a self-defense class with me? That's all I said. 3 hours later, I did go to basketball that day, got the kids showers, I pushed through. I went and checked my Facebook message, 322 comments.
Rachel, that's incredible.
I know. I was like, what just happened here? Which made me realize there was a need for it.
Yes.
But when I went back to the post, it said, who wants to take a self-defense class with me that I am starting? I never wrote that. I never wrote that. I prayed about it before I wrote it. I did, but I never wrote I was going to start something. I was a busy single mother. I couldn't start anything. And it was all the comments. Kim Gable was on there. I want to do a news story with you. Professional single mother of South Hills making a difference in the community. You know, Crown Plaza was on there. Different locations. Have a meeting with us. I know some instructors. Da 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 da. And within 3 weeks, it was done. Came up with Whispering Force one night in the middle of laying in bed, thinking that every single woman has a story, but we are so quiet to share it.
Yes.
But we can be a force to be reckoned with when we have the right techniques and education behind us.
Yes.
The butterfly is not beautiful. It's a darker butterfly. And what that is the butterfly effect, which means small changes equals a much greater outcome. That's all these sessions are. This is not a whole weekend of a retreat. This is not, 8 hours on a Saturday. These are 1 hour classes with simple techniques. So you come out of there remembering exactly what you need to do if you were attacked at that moment. And that's what's important to me. It's the small changes. And ever since we started Whispering Force, I can't even believe the people that have come forward. Rachel, my daughter was raped in school last year. Rachel, this happened to me when I was young. This happened. And I just realized, you wear your heart on your sleeve, you're going to make a much bigger impact. And you and I have worn our hearts on our sleeves.
Yes.
I was domestically sexually abused by my own father as a child. And I know this came full circle. I know it did. And my mom's the one that recognized it. When we were talking about this even starting, she goes, this isn't even coming from what just happened at the store. This is full circle. You have always wanted to take care of women and children.
Yes.
It comes from you not feeling protected as a child and then finally coming through that, but with a silver lining and not letting what he did affect the rest of your life. And she's right. That's why my heart was like, let's do this. Our community needs this. And when I have Whispering Force, I say, this isn't about the predators that you don't know. Right. This could be people you do know. Yes. And we need to learn how to break their nose using this part of our hand to get them off of us, or to get out of a party with a teenager or a college person walking from class. This isn't always about the predators. This is about the people that you may trust. You need to have those techniques to get yourself and your loved ones even 5 seconds of freedom. Because once you do something like this, or you do something like this, you have a couple seconds to escape. Yes. Whereas if you didn't do that, you could have been chloroformed and put into a car and never seen again.
There's something to be said, and I think we've all felt it. There's not a woman I know that hasn't felt that atmosphere.
Yeah.
That I'm in danger, something's not right, but yet we're constantly reprimanded as women that our emotions are out of control, so we tend to suppress that.
That's right.
Which is our warning signal, and that's what I've learned through you and so many of these studies. Our warning signals are telling us there is something not right here, and you do need to do something to protect yourself, or to break the atmosphere, or to get away, or to give yourself those few seconds. So talk a little bit about that, as far as you have 2 beautiful children.
Thank you.
We all have children. Mine are grown, and I still feel the same way, because I do know that this is not just the predator. It isn't just the stranger. These are people in your lives that often have that close proximity, and maybe it wouldn't be believed if something was going on so close to you.
Right.
So you have this hard time having your voice being heard.
Right.
So speak to that a little bit, and what empowered you so much? Obviously your story,
right?
But as you're going along, you're hearing these stories over and over.
So many, and this one woman was 6 months ago, easily. It was back near Christmas. She walked into Whispering Force the most confident woman you would ever have imagined, right? She didn't want to talk to me. She's like, I just wanted to see what this was all about. What's the hype on Facebook and what's this? And I'm like, okay, but something in me like pulled on my heartstrings for her. She would not come take this class if she was so hardcore, right? Or she was judging me for even doing it, you know? And after class was over, she just totally broke down. She said, I brought my kids today because they have no idea what their father's been doing, but they let him in the other day, and I'm just starting a PFA against him. He was standing above me in bed, like just there to intimidate and let me know that you don't want to tell the kids. Well, watch what I'm gonna do. I can get in here at any time. And she starts bawling and crying, and my goodness, I was like, I understand, I get it, because you're trying to keep the kids innocent. You're trying to keep a relationship with their father, hoping he's going to do something in his life to change, but he is now an intimidated, abusive person to you.
Yes.
You know, and she said it wasn't just the techniques that really brought her like forward to talk to me afterwards. It was the empowerment of all the people there, you know.
Yes.
And I loved what Kim Gable said one time, the last session in April. She put on Facebook, I'm at Trader Joe's, and after Whispering Force tonight, I feel like anyone comes near me, I can kick their butt. And I love it, because that's just it. You leave there feeling like, go ahead and try. You know what I mean? There's something there where everyone's feeling like, you know, they're screaming the word no, and they're doing the techniques, and they're just getting empowered. And I think that's huge. You know, and I do talk at Whispering Force about awareness. You know, do not think you're being a drama queen. Do not think that little feeling of shakiness inside of you is something to ignore. You know, that you have to speak up when something is scaring you. You know, and that's just, awareness is huge. I love the fact that I have Teresa there too. She has Damsel in Defense Pittsburgh.
Yes, we'll post that link as well.
Definitely. You know, with Teresa, she's selling some of those, you know, self-defense weapons.
Yes.
You know, I even have a camera that's a taser, and the kids know how to use it. You know, things that don't look like they're going to hurt someone. You know, you're at Kennywood, you can carry this camera, and then bam, you know, if they come close to you, you're going to taser them. She has so many amazing things, and more education and books for children to understand and things like that. And then Ben Hosler and Chuck Hosler, they're my instructors, and Chuck owned Rising Sun Martial Arts.
They were amazing.
Yes.
They were amazing.
They're incredible, and you know, they understood when we had our meeting to keep things simple. We're not doing martial arts. Ben is New Edge Spine Chiropractic, and they're incredible together. They really hit the heart of everyone in there to make them understand what we're trying to do. And it's been awesome. I love it so much.
The
It's a great
impact
team to work.
of
The
what you're
impact.
doing in 1 year. You've grown. You've been on
Over a
the
pandemic.
news. You've been in the newspaper. You've been because it is such a need.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful that you're doing this. So thankful. So what types of opportunities are there to support? And then what are the upcoming sessions? So give me and we'll post the link, of course.
So we are working on a website right now. So whisperingforce.com will be up. But right now it's on Facebook. If they look up Whispering Force it's right there. But basically, the sponsorship opportunities are all about giving back to people that can't afford the class.
Okay.
Giving back to people that don't even want to do, you know, their name on Facebook or their name like through any kind of pay system. You know, they're terrified.
Sure.
It's domestic abuse, you know, survivors. So when you sponsor Whispering Force at one of the levels, we're giving you the marketing through posters and campaigning and having vendor tables for marketing stuff if needed. All this stuff on our social media, depending on what levels you are. But you're giving back to give those survivors a chance to take the class and feel that empowerment and start their journey fresh.
So you find those people through other sources, and
Yes.
it's private.
It's private.
But it gives them the class, and they don't have to pay for it.
Exactly.
That is
Exactly.
phenomenal.
And they know too, it's not always just through centers. There's a lot of people that will not go to centers. They're even scared of that. You know, so it's just, please, people, tell other people you know and this, that we can give them the class. Whether they can afford it or not, whether they just need privacy between me and them to take it. Because a lot of people are too scared to go to the centers for help. But it's at least a way to step in the door to do this, and then I can give them more resources to help them out further.
And we will invite anyone that is interested or knows someone that might need that. please contact us privately, either Rachel or myself. We will make that connection for you. We will do everything we can to make that happen for them so that they can take the class. And today, Rachel, I would like to say that Bridge Insurance Group will sponsor 10 opportunities for women to take the class. And again, I don't want to cry. But
oh my gosh, you're gonna make me cry. That's not what this was for. But oh my gosh,
this is such a powerful organization, and there are so many women that are hurting. So we encourage you, please contact us below. Look at all of these opportunities. And Rachel, you are absolutely a gift. Any closing words?
Just for everybody to understand that you are so worthy. You are special, you are unique, and you are powerful. And no matter if someone has broken that in your spirit and your soul, you're gonna make me cry. We don't do this for anything except for women and children of our community to be safe. We should all feel that our kids can still play at parks, and they can't. We should feel like we can go to a store in the evening and get bread, milk, and butter, and we can't feel that way. You know, you need something, you know, you need these small techniques. You need the empowerment of feeling all these people around you. Whispering Force will give that to you, and more. You know, there's friendships that are really starting in there. So I please, you know, reach out to anyone you know that would need our class. The next one is on August 29th. Because of the pandemic and COVID, I wanted this to be monthly, but right now it's bi-monthly, especially through the summer. We just had one on Sunday, and if you want to see some of the photos and things, it's at Whispering Force on Facebook. But basically, you know, we keep it simple, and you feel the love in there, and I promise I can be a shoulder to lean on. I understand completely what people have gone through and how you can come out of it. And so we're here.
What an incredible blessing. Business owners, I challenge you, match this or exceed it. Please, let's help these women in our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless.